Katie. I'm with Manufacturers News. I'm absolutely thrilled to introduce you to MNI University. This is free online learning brought to you by MNI. And for those who may not be familiar with us, let me just give you a snapshot of what MNI does. MNI, otherwise known as Manufacturers News Inc., is the nation's oldest and largest compiler of industrial manufacturing data. For over 100 years, we've been dedicated to connecting buyers and sellers in the industry. MNI University is our latest initiative. We believe in the power of knowledge and its ability to transform businesses and individuals alike. Our goal is to equip you with the skills, insights, and inspiration needed to stay ahead in today's fast-paced manufacturing landscape. Our carefully curated courses cover a wide array of topics, from sales and marketing to supply chain management and emerging trends. We've partnered with industry leaders and experts to bring you engaging, informative content that you can access at your own pace, wherever you are. So buckle up and get ready to embark on a learning journey with my friend Dave Meyer at BizzyWeb. The floor is yours, Dave.
Thank you, Katie, and thanks to Industry Select and MNI for your long partnership with us and on behalf of the entire manufacturing industry. So today I'd like to cover something that not a lot of manufacturers spend a lot of time on, and that is recurring revenue by mining the fields of your existing relationships. So a lot of times we focus in marketing on the funnel and bringing as many people as possible into our website or driving advertising or going and doing leads or any of those things. I'm going to share a slightly different engagement strategy called the flywheel. And so as we go through today, you might be wondering who the heck I am, and I am the owner and founder of BizzyWeb. We're a marketing agency focused on inbound marketing and HubSpot, doing all of the things that drive traffic and help you convert. We do all the things that you see on screen, and we've been doing it for 25 years. So if you have any information or would like to chat about anything that we could help you with to drive those leads, I've got information for you at the end of today's talk. All right, so as we get started, I want to set up a few things as far as just kind of table stakes for what marketing really does for manufacturers and for business in general, as well as how the typical funnel is slightly off kilter now for what we're trying to do. As we look at the marketing funnel, I'm going to take you through that and we'll share some details on it. We're going to go into what that funnel is, and then I'm going to introduce the flywheel, something that manufacturers should know a lot about. And this is a slightly different version of the flywheel than you might have seen before. We're going to show you how to measure what your flywheel is doing in your marketing, and then how to maximize delight and reduce friction to make sure that your leads keep coming back for more. Now, the reason that this is important is there's so much going into marketing, and especially today and at the time of our recording here, and hello to all the folks that's in attendance today and live in person. But as you're looking at what marketing is, there's a low level of trust. And as a matter of fact, if you see down at the bottom there, of course, politicians is at the very bottom, but what's that down there at the bottom? Marketers and salespeople are among the least trusted in the world of communications. And so we need to focus on connecting with people in a more authentic way and giving them helpful information. The reason that marketers and salespeople get a bad rap is because we try to force things on people. You've heard of spam, and that's or deceptive advertising or cookie tracking or any of those other crazy things that marketers get set up with. And likewise, cold calling and or pushy sales tactics make it really hard for salespeople to gain trust. So that jives really poorly, of course, when you think about how people normally hear about our businesses. What's up at the top? Word of mouth. Everyone is connected, and you get referrals and connections from people that know about you. So if you can connect up and give people what they're looking for, and help them to share the good news about your business, it's far easier to close additional business from people that refer you or that already know you than it is to try and drive content through broadcast methods or traditional marketing. So let's talk about first the funnel. And the funnel, of course, is an analogy. What it really is we're trying to get as many leads into our businesses as possible, right? So you do advertising, email marketing, search engine optimization, you have a blog, you do, social media engagement, you're posting like crazy on LinkedIn and trying to connect with the right people. The idea of that funnel is you're trying to get all those people in your door with the hope that a few of them are going to actually convert to the bottom of the funnel and turn into customers. If you think about it very carefully and you look at the picture of the funnel that we have on the screen today, what happens when you dump things in the top of a funnel? They come out the bottom and then they're just gone, right? So a lot of times when we're looking at marketing and our funnel, what you really need to focus on is you can't just treat people like they're one and done, or that they're a transaction that needs to be completed or a checkbox that needs to be checked and then never referred to again. So getting as many leads as possible isn't necessarily a great idea. Instead, we want to focus on deepening relationships with all of our existing leads. Our traditional inbound workflow, you're working from people who are strangers on the left-hand side of the screen to connect with them. So the traditional role of marketing is often to just simply attract, and people don't pay much attention to the rest of the process after that. So as we move from attract to convert, and when strangers get converted to visitors on our website, we're trying to get people to click to give us some additional information. You see contact us forms here. A deeper and smarter version of a contact us form would be trading people for some sort of helpful information, maybe a handy white paper or an event or something else that you have in your business. Those are all done via landing pages. And then once they fill out that form, you go from convert to close, and those people become leads. So there's marketing qualified leads and sales qualified leads. The marketing qualified leads are what comes in the door, and the sales qualified leads are after your sales team actually looks at those leads and confirms that they're a great fit for your business. So tools like CRM and email workflows, those things are the things that are really helping you to connect and to generate additional content and to give you what you need. And then as we move through the close solution into delight, people are now your customers and you want to keep them coming back for more. A lot of times we just close our customers. This is easy in retail, but for business to business, it's much more important to try to connect and to give people more of what they're looking for. So as we move from into delight, you want to give people everything that they need and find out what they're looking for via surveys, get connected with them over smart content. Smart tools like HubSpot can automate the response and the updates. So you can actually give people everything that they want inside of the purchase decision process for their business. And you can remind them that you're a great solution and a great partner in their success. And then that turns people from customers into promoters. And so what you see here is that once you have a promoter, they tend to refer more people to your business. And then you've got new strangers coming in that are starting with a warm referral. And so it gets much, much easier to close those leads and those deals. And the people themselves that were promoting you are more likely to come back for more as well. So drawbacks of a funnel, I already covered this sort of, is that, treating people one and done and trying to drive a lead in and then forgetting about them is really doing a disservice to the relationship, and especially in business related selling like manufacturing and industrial work. Repeat business is far easier to win. As a matter of fact, studies say that it's 10 times easier to close an additional sale with an existing lead or with an existing customer than it is to find a brand new customer from nothing. And word of mouth often drives referrals, which of course drives sales. And so again, we're trying to take our customers and have them refer us back in so that they're back in our funnel and we can connect with them. So you can probably start seeing that motion of a flywheel, right? The circle. And as I put it back here, you can kind of see there's a big circle that's happening now, right? So as I drive through this, let's talk about what that flywheel really is. Now, I covered before marketing, we treat it as a funnel, sales as a funnel. It's one and done. People plop out the bottom to be forgotten for forevermore. But now what we want to try to do inside of the flywheel is move from attracting up at the top to engaging them and giving them more help, more information, more details on what they're looking for, and then delighting them after they've become customers. The end result of that is that they're referring business or coming back to you, and then you're attracting them, engaging them, and delighting them over and over and over again. And as you can see on the outside of the wheel, you're moving from strangers to prospects to customers to promoters. And the end result is that you're moving people through a continuous engagement process that's easier to connect, easier to get people to grow, and easier to get additional referrals. So as we look at that, then what we need to really think about is how this flywheel model can help you to decrease your marketing budgets or make your marketing more effective. As we look at details with flywheel, customer retention is absolutely essential to your company's success. Acquisition is incredibly important as well, but the more you can build additional leverage in your business, the easier it is to increase or maintain revenue. As a matter of fact, a 5% increase in retention can increase your revenues by 25 to 95%, especially if you're in a high dollar business. If an additional sale is several $100,000 to several $1,000,000, if you can get one more sale from that company or that person, that's a big difference. There's a little company that I want to share that has used the flywheel to great effect. You may have heard of them. They actually had some stuff in the news last week. It's called Amazon. If you've heard of these guys before, but there's a dude on a very, very, very large boat somewhere enjoying the effects of his flywheel. Jeff Bezos actually took the flywheel way at the beginning of Amazon, and what they figured out how to do is to take their content and their sales. In first case, it was books, but then they started offering additional items on offer. What they did is they expanded their store and extended their distribution down at the bottom. And then they used that to grow their revenue by decreasing their fixed costs. That led to being able to offer lower prices on more offerings because they had scale, right? So they could do more. That led them to increase customer visits because there was more great stuff on Amazon.com. And that attracted third-party sellers, which led to expanding their store and expanding their distribution. So you can see how having this work together where every input in your business is designed to offer more inputs to the next step in your business can be incredibly powerful. So it's not just marketing, but if you extend this out past the operations of the business, it could be pretty transformative as well. So then what is a flywheel? Of course, it's a model for business growth where you're looking at never leaving a customer stranded. You're trying to give them more attention. Once you're not just going for more clicks on your website or more opens on an email or more opens on an ad. You're trying to engage those people after they connect. The goal is to create marketing momentum, and the inputs are how fast your flywheel spins, how much content you're putting out, how often you're posting things to your website, how often your ads are connecting, and how much content you're giving to people. The friction in your process tends to push back on that. So if you have a ton of marketing, but if that marketing goes to a landing page on a website that's broken, or if they fill out a request or ask for more information and you simply don't respond to them, that's friction. That's annoying people. And so it slows you back down. And then finally, how much mass or activity you have in your marketing outputs. So if you have a library of content that you can draw from and that people can pick and choose across their engagement cycle with you, they're doing research in their buyer's journey and they go from just knowing that they need something that you do and they're searching for that to understanding that you're a solution provider and then deciding to work with you. If you have a body of work that they can research and connect with inside of your business, and even better, if that content is driven or offered to them automatically based on what they do, it becomes a choose your own adventure where your marketing can actually build depth inside of your content. So that gives you mass. Now, in manufacturing, we're comfortable and we know the idea of the flywheel. It's one of the best storage mediums of energy. It was kind of invented by James Watt in the 1800s. It led to the revolution of the steam engine and being able to pull all kinds of things. As a matter of fact, if you go out to your manufacturing floor, I'm going to guarantee you're going to see at least a few flywheels out and about. And if not, when you drive your car home, there's a flywheel in your car because that's how you keep the cylinders working and it drives new mass and content. So if you think about that from the way mechanical flywheels work to the way this marketing flywheel works, you can see that having it spin faster, reducing friction, and adding mass can bring you more content and more depth. So your flywheel is probably creating customers who will happily drive new business to you. So if you have people that are speaking out about you and referring you in social networks or in personal connections or via email, that's going to give you more people inside of your flywheel. Funnels to bring in new business, having blogs, having social media content. Manufacturers News and MNI does a great job at this. There's always fantastic content on LinkedIn and on Twitter that bring in business and connections. And then adding ways to delight and re-engage your customers can be incredibly powerful to build and to drive momentum. And these don't have to be complicated. Simple shout outs to your customers, simple connections or re-engagements, adding tips or ways that you can use the build or the content or the production that you deliver for your customers in new ways can give your customers much more to enjoy and to refer. There's a lot of tools that you can use inside of growing your flywheel. And I'm going to break these down into the following three. So there are a number of tools in attract, engage, and delight. And what I want to drive through is kind of go through these in depth. So our attract tools, this is traditional marketing. So if you think of marketers or people that are driving content, they normally do things like ads and videos. They have a blog, and there's great reasons to have blogs on your website, even if you feel like you have a captive audience. The things that you're trying to do through blogs is to, again, deepen the relationship and give people more of the content that they need to be successful when they use your product or service. Social media, having a content strategy where all of the pages on your website are optimized for the right content and give people additional touch points to re-engage with you that you can then reconnect with using a tool like a CRM. HubSpot is my CRM of merit. And so what I like to do is build workflows outside of any landing pages. So if you have a interest, or if you respond to an ad and you download a white paper or a news article and you ask for more information, I'm going to send you a follow-up email a few days later saying, here are some other things that you might enjoy. Based on what you click inside of that email, I'm going to send you down the path of giving you as much as possible that helps you answer your questions. Engage tools, this is about actually connecting and deepening those relationships. So that's where the automation really starts to shine. Lead flows, giving people connections, setting it up so that if someone visits your website 3 times and opens an email, it triggers a task to your sales team to do a polite follow-up via LinkedIn, or maybe even giving them a call can be incredibly helpful. Email marketing works really well for this. Managing your leads, things like bots. If you see those chat bots at the bottom of a lot of websites, the reason we do this is because people have immediate questions and they don't want to have to pick up the phone or submit a form or submit a request for help. What they want to do is just chat with something, and they know it's not somebody usually, but chat to be able to say, okay, do you guys do this? Can you work with this material? And to have that right back can be incredibly powerful. It's also easy to do using CRMs like HubSpot. And then, of course, the marketing automation, giving people more of what they look for. Choose your own adventure marketing is what I like to call it. You're giving people what they're asking for and then some. So you're always providing additional value. And then, of course, delight tools. Smart content, you can set up your website so that the next time they visit your website after they've engaged with you a little bit, you've customized that site to meet their needs. So if they're an engineer versus a purchaser, or if they have higher or lower levels of technical need, you can give them more technical detail if they're a line person or an engineer, versus if they're a executive that just needs the ROI, you can give them just the high level content. Email marketing, again, is about giving people what they need. And it's really the workhorse of most of the world of marketing. Matter of fact, most email marketing is far more cost effective than almost anything else. Blog posts aside and content, because that doesn't usually take a lot of time or effort to build. An email is generally the current ROI figures are somewhere around 40 to 1. So for every dollar you spend in email, the current thinking is that you get about 40 bucks back. So very, very easy stuff to use. Having inboxes for your conversations where you can keep all those people together and you can actually help people and do support live. Making sure that you've got attribution so that these are the tweets or these are the emails that really generated additional content or help and that seemed to resonate with people, so that you can simply do more of that kind of stuff. And then automation is giving people more of what they need to keep them coming back for more. So we know what a flywheel is. Now let's figure out how to measure it, and explicitly to measure it for your business, right? So as we look at marketing and measuring our flywheel, the 3 things that I like to measure by each stage are providing value before you extract value under the attract phase, to make it easy to shop and buy inside of engage, and to make sure that customer success is your success. So you're trying to push people to get exactly what they need from you and to smooth out those bumps in the purchase process. This, if you are watching the recording afterwards, or for the folks that are attending, you can do a screenshot here on this, but I like to fill this out and simply answer these 3 questions. I provide value to prospects by, and then in my case, answering marketing questions, providing tips and tricks on my website for the attract phase. I make it easy for prospects to buy in the engage phase by, and then your answer here, of course, but offering easy ways to connect, simplifying the sales process, removing roadblocks. And then under delight, I make my customers successful by adding more value, solving problems, going deeper, and anticipating issues, right? So you're trying to always be helping inside of your purchase process or your sales process. So again, those forces on the flywheel. For attract, what we're trying to do is earn attention and not force it. So if you come off as spammy, it's going to turn people off. What you're trying to do is help first and deliver that helpful content to give people the answers that they're looking for when they're starting their research on finding a business like yours. and helping them smooth out the application using content that's worth their time. This is where spam gets a deserved bad rap. If you're sending people out, or if you're sending content out to people that has nothing to do with what they do in their business, if they've subscribed to your newsletter and all of a sudden you're sending them Happy Meal links or, silly stuff, or in the easiest example, like if you're a realtor and all you're doing is sending them links to new listings and that person just bought their house. People only buy houses every 7 years, if that, right? So sending them additional stuff like that is just annoying them. Let's converse that to engage. So what you're trying to do when you're engaging people is building relationships versus just closing deals. People don't like to feel like they're being sold. They like to buy online and they like to connect. We do our research online, but we don't want to feel like it's being pushed on us. So building relationships is important. And then focusing on customer success versus simply closing a sale. So what goes into a person feeling successful and giving them what they need? If you are a plastic injection molds builder and you have a specific tolerance, or if the materials that you use have very specific heat ranges and what they do, making sure that you get that in front of people so that they understand and they can make the right decision, that's going to be incredibly helpful. And then on the delight side, removing friction from your customer experience. So what I like to do inside of the buying process is have people that I've just closed tell me how the experience went and simply ask them what worked and what didn't work, what slowed you down, what was frustrating in our process, and they'll tell you. And one of the things that you'll probably learn is your forms are probably too long. You're asking too many questions. Going right for the jugular right away is not the way to close a deal. Or to close additional deals. Or maybe you forgot about them and they felt like, okay, well, I bought, but then I didn't hear from you for a month. So you need to make sure that you re-engage and connect. And then again, over deliver, solve problems, and get them what they need. So the other thing that I want to talk about inside of this flywheel process is you do need to maximize delight to keep people coming back for more. Now, this is one of my favorite pictures. This is my daughter. She just graduated from high school, so this is from a long time ago. But no better delight than a young lady and a horse, right? So think about how you can better serve your customers in your relationships. What can you do to really help them to look great to their bosses, to help them streamline their buying process or the process of using your product or service? Or maybe even think a little bit outside the box and give them information that just helps them be successful in their job. Just because you supply a specific thing doesn't mean the only thing that you're allowed to talk about is the thing that you do. So what other problems can you solve for them? And then again, look at the forces on your flywheel. What's slowing things down? Or where's your mass or your kind of speed being affected? And so I like to throw together a kind of a table that outlines which forces I'm using. So right now, if I'm looking at the marketing force in my business, I need to identify, here's a problem. So people aren't answering customer questions fast enough. In order to maximize delight, what I need to do is add frequently asked questions or streamlining the answer process with things like chatbots or helpful information, or maybe even automating it to give them some frequently asked questions after they download that paper or whatever. In sales, are based on new revenue, so people are pushing too hard in your business. So maybe you want to slow that down or give additional compensation for repeat sales, making people think about, okay, well, I can't just treat people like dirt or pretend like they don't exist anymore after that sale, because I'm getting compensated on repeat sales as well. And that will warm up and make your business feel a whole lot friendlier to people down the road. In service, customer service is a big, tough thing for a lot of businesses. So if you have customers who have problems renewing a subscription or in placing additional orders, figuring out what that page is or what the request page might be to give people additional help is going to help speed up the process for you. Friction is, of course, one of those things that slows all of our businesses down, and we tend to have a semi-blind eye to this. You really do need to look at your purchase process and what happens during and after the buy agreement in order to make sure that people want to come back for more. So what are those points of friction? Have your existing customers tell you, hire secret shoppers to come on through and to pretend to be people that are interested. Have them go through your marketing. We all have friends, I hope. So find a friend on LinkedIn and ask them, hey, can you just pretend to be somebody that's interested in our product? And have them catalog or track, okay, what didn't make sense? There's a lot of things that you can probably automate to help guarantee that the response rate is quick and helpful. And if you have shared goals with your teams or adjustments to your team to help smooth things out, that's going to work a lot of wonders in reducing that friction. So if you have a source of friction like your support ticket response is slow, if people are submitting help requests and you're not getting to them, you might need to automate the response rate, give them more details. If they don't connect with customers often enough, then maybe you need to do some automation and then maybe set a new goal around, okay, well, I am going to respond within a certain amount of time. KPIs, key performance indicators, those are incredibly helpful in giving you more touch points and connecting with your customers. Or if people are buying, even if you have a retail or if people are connecting or filling out forms and they just don't seem to go all the way through it, well, let's look at what the goal is behind that and or think about reorganizing what you're asking, or maybe even helping the team to give better service by giving them more power or decision making inside of that space. So we've covered a ton. I want to make sure that we have a little bit of time for questions, but in summary for this, what you want to focus on and understand out of this whole conversation is that funnels as a marketing tool are helpful to a limit, right? They're not the be all end all anymore. You really need to focus on engaging and reconnecting your audience to grow your business. You're missing out on a lot of opportunities by not asking for referrals and not being the space where people want to keep coming back for more. You need to attract content and clients via typical marketing, engage those people by giving them what they're looking for, and then delight them by making sure that you don't forget about them after the sale and giving them more opportunities to connect. And then remember, you need to reduce your friction inside of that sales process and marketing to keep growing your business. If I had to summarize all of this, be great to your customers, serve them as well as you possibly can, and make sure that they always feel like they're welcome back. So that's a ton. I threw a lot at us today. If you do want more, I have a quick guide to how all of this works through a process called inbound marketing. So if you go to the link on screen, you can visit our guide to inbound, and that's going to be a great example of an automated connection. You're not going to get spammed out of this, but what we will ask you, based on what you ingest or what you look at inside of that marketing campaign book, we'll say, okay, well, it looks like you really need help here. And so if you want, we'd be happy to deliver this. So it's not a sales thing. You're not going to get pegged with sales calls. But if you want to give it a shot and see what this automation in marketing really feels like when it's done well, go ahead and visit that. And then, of course, remember, on August 5th, we have next level lead nurturing, how to segment and automate your marketing to close more deals. So we're going to go into how to nurture your leads and your connections inside of building your audience. And that's available at university.mni.net/register. Covered a ton. I want to make sure that we have some time for Q&A. So here's my contact info if you need to get a hold of us. And there's that link to that document again. But Katie, this has been amazingly fun. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions from the audience?